News First, Newsline Prime with Faraz Shaukatali.
And a very good evening to you, and a very warm welcome to Newsline Prime on Good Friday. Well, here we are. We've got a very special guest today to have a comparative talk about between Sri Lanka and that other cricket-mad island nation, Jamaica. All the way from Kingston in Jamaica. No, it's not Bob Marley. It's Mr. Well, not Mr. actually, because he's gone up a little bit. Professor Prathiba Maheva, former Human Rights Commissioner in Sri Lanka, and he's right here. He is well, I'll let him say that. Let's welcome him to Newsline Prime. Professor Prathiba Maheva, very good evening, and thank you for coming on Newsline Prime.
Thank you very much. After 6 months, Sirasa, TV Maharaja, MTV giving me this first opportunity. I arrived last 17th, this one, and my first show. Thank you very much. I really appreciate Faraz giving me an opportunity to discuss certain things. And Holy Easter week started, and Jamaica celebrating this whole week is a holiday for Jamaica.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, you've been there for 6 months.
Yes, sir.
You've obviously, thanks to technology, you've kept in touch with what's going on in Sri Lanka. What's your take? What is your take on addressing corruption in Sri Lanka, the progress?
What the progress you are talking? After 4.5 years, the bribery commission is there, and there is a special commission for this bond scam.
Right.
Still no indictment served for the people who are responsible for this mastermind plan. Even JVP now silent about that. So the first thing, the bond scam, that is number one. 4.5 years gone, there is no progress. Even the other sectors, you see whether there is a progress. People mandate, franchise, all undermined. Now 8 provincial councils already dissolved. Where is the election at the moment? You are talking about good governance. You are talking about principles of this type of rule of law. But people are suffering economically, politically, legally. All these sectors are just one party blaming for the another party, and also survival game. People come to power, they say, I am only here for 4 years, but they want to extend the time period. So this is not the way the country should lead. Politicians are trying to survive, but people are suffering. That's the gap I have seen. Intelligent, educated people are not coming for politics still in this country.
And how can you compare? What is the how does Jamaica fare in terms of corruption and accountability?
I have seen practical, live, good governance in Jamaica. About 3 weeks before, the Minister of Education, Honorable Reid Rule, was sacked from the government.
For what?
For what? Taken a check by his private secretary, not the minister. Not the minister. So indirect bribes, even the minister was sacked from the ministry, and also in the Senate he has no say. So that is the best example.
He's been removed from the Senate as well?
Yes. The issue is this. He can remain, but for certain meetings he cannot participate. Now this is an allegation only. It is not proved.
Right.
But the Honorable Prime Minister Michael Holness sacked him from the government, and he may not be appointed for any other thing. Sri Lanka,
is he an elected member?
He was an appointed member. He was about to contest for the next election, but he may not get the seat now. Sri Lanka, you see, a minister removed, and once again he is being appointed. So this is a role system, but I have not seen that in Jamaica.
Can we labor the point that in Sri Lanka they've had investigations but no legal action taken? Therefore, until such action is taken, one is presumed innocent.
Presumption of innocence is there in the constitution as a fundamental right. But the good governance principles are very, very important. Even there is no national government, but good governance reality. He can remain as a member of the parliament, but he can't visit, he can't do anything with regard to the ministry. And the Prime Minister of Jamaica has done a whole investigation of the public servants who are working there also for certain allegations. I just want to compare and tell the action is there in Jamaica. Now look here, last government also, this government also, what happened? Special Presidential Commission was appointed. The current ministers who are actually involved in bribery and corruption. So where is the legal action? How many commissions are there? Election commission is there, no election. They are crying at the moment, that's all. Why can't they take any action like India and other countries? That's why I am telling, by-elections are there. In Jamaica, they always look the people mandate. Now they had a by-election. In that by-election, I don't have seen any polythene, any campaign. People know the best person to appoint.
But what sort of turnout do you think they have?
Turnout, they are having actually 70%, something like that.
So quite high.
Yeah, quite high.
And other sort of, how does the media fare there?
Yeah, media, there are 2 media organizations and 2 public papers, the Gleaner, the paper, Jamaica Observer.
Right.
So they are the people who are running all these media. And there is another one, CVM TV and RJ TV. So those are the 2 TV stations.
Right.
And look here, I want to tell you.
And a population of about
population less than 3 million, 2.9 million. Jamaica is the biggest English-speaking country in the Caribbean region. It's a Commonwealth country. 17 Caribbean countries are there. And Jamaica is the biggest one because Jamaica is famous for 3 things. Number 1, track and field, you know, these Olympic Games.
Yes,
Number 2, tourism. Number 3, it's people. People are very friendly. People are working very hard.
But hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Jamaica has at least 2 other interesting matters.
Yeah.
And you've forgotten one of them, which is cricket.
Yes, that's why I called track and field. It includes sports.
That, okay.
It includes Sabina Park, where I live. It's a very beautiful place. Sabina Park, Indian cricket team is visiting very soon.
So do you hope to go and catch some
Yes,
cricket?
definitely.
Right, wonderful. Do think of us. We had Mr. Govindasri visit the Caribbean
Okay, that's
to follow the cricket last
Yeah,
year. Now then, what have you learned out there that you'd wish to have implemented in Sri Lanka?
2 things I like. All the ministers are traveling, no police backup vehicles. Even in Jamaica and even in Caribbean, the highest court is Caribbean Court of Justice. Honorable Saunders, the president, when he visited our university, no police, nothing. Only he and his driver. So just wasting a lot of money in this country for the backup vehicles. Now the peace is there, no terrorism in this country. So you can save a lot of things. Number 2, the rule of law. Very recently, last year Jamaica Parliament passed National Identification System, that is NIC, National Identity Card. Last week, the Supreme Court, Constitutional Court, 3 judges unanimously decided what? The charter, freedom and also fundamental right, it violates right to privacy and therefore they can't go with this system. And government respect that. That's why Jamaica rule of law is higher than in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, even there are a lot of Supreme Court decisions given. Even I saw the sand case. Even Supreme Court has given a decision. But still, I saw in the media, this is a mafia. Illegal sand is getting in Sri Lanka. So even in Wilpattu site, all these trees are actually what they do. They just cut down. But in Jamaica also you can cut down a tree. Supreme Court say, if you cut down one tree, plant another one tree. And they are investigating. There is a system. The system is running.
Does the system work though?
System work. But certain other things are there. Both countries having one common thing. Both countries now in a debt trap. That is where China. Even in Sri Lanka, we can ask a loan from where China. Even same thing happening in Jamaica. So some common things are there. But I mean, rule of law, economy, as well as respecting rights, they are above than our system.
And what's the size of their legislature then?
Their legislation is very small one,
Very small.
68. members are there in the parliament, and cabinet also very small because their population is only
Now,
2.9.
they've got you there, they've sort of imported you there because they obviously have a lot of faith in our legal system.
Yes, the same legal system. That is common law legal system. What actually they have recruited me, they are going to set up a law college, and their university, they need more research to be done. Certain other factors are there. So actually, as the Dean Law, Jamaica University, as working in Sri Lanka also, it is very flexible. It's very flexible, and people are friendly and supporting, no internal politics like Sri Lanka. So these are some of the things people must learn. Even I am having another awareness session in the Sri Lanka Bar Association for Sri Lankan lawyers, Sri Lankan legal consultants. Please come to Caribbean country and see what are the opportunities there.
Now, you served on the Human Rights Commission before in Sri Lanka, and so you must have not missed the events surrounding the former Defence Secretary and so on. Now, what chances are there for accountability through this system that somebody is using?
Yes, accountability, transparency, all these things are very, very important. Even I saw last Human Rights Council sessions, President actually having a one opinion, government having a one opinion.
Yes.
So finally what happened? President was unaware in Sri Lanka what's happening in Geneva, but he is the President of Sri Lanka. So therefore still, even President and Prime Minister, earlier they were in the national government, but today they work in a different
But a similar thing happened previously as well.
Yes.
President Kumaratunga is on record as saying that her Prime Minister signed the ceasefire agreement without telling her. And the name of that Prime Minister is the same Prime Minister that we have today, Mr. Wickremesinghe.
Yeah,
So
but
same
sort. But President Chandrika Kumaratunga sacked 3 ministers. Thereafter it was Poland, and there was a probation government. Today nothing. Now even without any national government.
In today's terms, in terms of the 19th Amendment, the President can't do that.
President can't do it. But still, the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka asking several other cabinet posts. Why? Is there a national government? To be in the power. They want to give more things to their politicians rather than people in this country. Now look here, the country, the cabinet ministers. Why can't you run this country with 30 minutes? Why are you asking more things? Because they know they can't run. I'll give another one. When the government came to power, they appointed the Constitution Committee to draft a new constitution. Millions of money wasted. Finally, where is the new constitution? Government said there is a draft. Why they are not presenting it to the draft? These are only things, popularity, politics, they look. When they want to come to power, when they want to be in the power, they come up with many things. So this is where a large scale of money is spent for this bond scam thing, as well as all the commissions. And finally, the result. I will give you one argument. Just see how many rupees or how many dollars they have spent for these commissions and see what is the outcome. Nothing. Nothing. Even a single minister not in the prison. But India, you see, several ministers was arrested. Even former chief minister Jairam Jayalalitha was in prison. But Sri Lanka, even for the bond scam, they put a prominent politician, a prominent minister to be arrested next week. So someone interfere, thereafter nothing. That is the situation in the country.
Well, do you think we'll ever have, do you think South Korea, let's talk about South Korea. 1960, their economy, Sri Lanka was ahead of South Korea.
Correct.
Today, South Korea is several times larger in terms of its economy than Sri Lanka. But also, thus far, they have sent to jail 4 elected presidents of South Korea.
Correct.
The executive power is in South Korea with the president. Now then, I think two of them have been released on health grounds and so on. There's 2 still there. Do you ever think that in Sri Lanka, can you envisage within this system, although we have this legal system and so on, do you envisage a day when Sri Lankan politicians will be charged in a court of law for whatever and be sent to jail? Do you think that, do you envisage such a time?
No, it's a dream only, nightmare. It will never happen. All these politicians, what they do, many things they say, where is the evidence? Prove it. Huh? So the legal system, you need many evidence. Okay. Now in South Korean system, if you take, they are really working even a case is filed, their system, remember, civil law. In a civil law, it is not adversarial, it is an inquisitorial system. Under the inquisitorial system like China, South Korea, all these countries, the cases are not dragging like this, commissions are not dragging like this, immediately they take action. And I like to add another thing. South Korea, the production is there. That's why their economy is actually increasing than Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, what is the productivity? Innocent female migrant workers in Gulf region and also the garment factories. So these things are there. They say Volkswagen coming, other one coming, Toyota coming, but no one. All these things, what they do to use a political slogan for an election only. But the saddest situation, what is our next production? Are we going to lend money from IMF, World Bank or China? That is the thing. We have now got into a trap. In this trap, it is very hard to survive. Any government coming to power in future, Mr. Faraz, they have to suffer with these things. They have to suffer with these things. And another UNHRC Council resolution is going to pass if the death penalty is implemented in Sri Lanka. So all these things, where we lead, where is the opinion? For the last few years, public opinion. But in Jamaica, they have by-election very recently. They had a by-election and also they knew the people mandate whether it is for the opposition or government. In Jamaica, there are two parties only. Jamaica Labour Party, who is in power, and Jamaica National Party.
But I mean, the population is only 3 million.
Yes, that is the issue. But even 3 million, they are manageable. They are manageable. Mostly they are manageable.
Right.
But here what we did, okay, see the population, see the parliament, see the cabinet. Why can't you
In Jamaica, do they have a right to appeal to the Privy Council?
Yes. That's the thing I want to tell you. Jamaica is not a republic still.
Right.
Their last court is Court of Appeal. If you are going against a Court of Appeal decision, you can go to Privy Council. But in Caribbean, there is a Caribbean Court of Justice. 5 to 6 countries are there. That is the highest court. But Jamaica, if they want to set up
Can they go above the main court?
CCJ you can't. If you are a member of CCJ, CARICOM agreements are there.
Right.
But Jamaica is not a party to that still.
Right.
So therefore Court of Appeal is the highest one, and thereafter you can go to Privy Council.
Right.
If they want to change the system, Mr. Faraz, they want to go for a referendum. So the people mandate.
What about, but in Sri Lanka, we don't have, now that we're a republic, we don't have the right to appeal to the Privy Council.
Only Supreme Court.
So, is that a drawback, do you think?
No. Two sides we have to see. Number one, 1972, May 22nd, we became a republic. Thereafter, no Governor General. Thereafter, no Privy Council. But if the courts are functioning in a very smooth manner and constitutionally and legally, I don't think we need another one other than that. But there is a pressure now, human rights issues. That's why they want to see the war crimes and they want to set up international, justice system to this country. But all these things where even the president said we have not involved in war crimes. So one slogan is not going there. USA not there in the Human Rights Council. But who are there?
So what gives them the moral right to lecture countries like Sri Lanka?
That's the thing. They want to keep that power, but I think rather than comparing the earlier system, Barack Obama, Honorable President, Honorable Trump, when he came to power, they said no, Human Rights Council. They have not signed the Rome Convention, many things. Very less conventions, human rights signed by only USA. But they are advocating other countries, you have to come up like that. So then I get the example of Jamaica and get the example of Israel. They are not fear about this. But why Sri Lanka begging behind this Western nation? NGOs are doing this. NGOs are, luckily, very few NGOs are there in Jamaica, not like Sri Lanka.
Okay.
So therefore, they have a ombudsman, political ombudsman there. and also they don't have a human rights commission still,
Yeah.
but they have other systems running smoothly in the country. But they are not looking for the power, future power, or their sons and daughters to take up to politics.
Yeah.
They only look the country to survive. That's why the great Bob Marley said one thing:
Yeah.
stand up and fight for your rights. So that is there. Slavery was there, colonialism was there, a lot of national heroes were in Jamaica. They put the country into a system which can produce many, many things for the Caribbean region.
And what lessons are, actually, I want, somebody is pointing this out, so thank you for that question. You spoke about the human rights angle. Now, and international justice and all that. What do you make of the cases or the notifications given to the former Defense Secretary then?
If there is a case, the case should function. And also...
But how does it work? They say it's a civil lawsuit. How does that work?
Yeah, because not this. Former LTT cadre Ramesh was killed in this war period,
Yeah.
and this LTT leader's wife filed a case in Colombia, USA courts against former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. So finally what happened?
Yeah.
The court said they don't have any jurisdiction. This is where they want to show many things, what they have done in one country and sue in another country. You can't do it because all the countries are equal, even small nation, big nation, all equal in the United Nations Human Rights Council. That's why they can't file criminal cases, they want to file civil cases. Even civil cases, you have to prove it. Without proving that, tell me any courts in USA had asked to pay compensation for that? No. Even you see Human Rights Council in Geneva, they had given certain recommendation against Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Sri Lankan people has filed a human rights violation. When I was in the Human Rights Commission, I know former Minister S.B. Dissanayake, he was sent to jail and he filed a case. Mr. Niyal Jayatilaka, Professor Niyal Jayatilaka, former Minister Secretary in 1970s represented him, and a big amount asked to pay by the Sri Lanka government to Mr. Victor Ivan as S.B. Dissanayake, Lalita Rajapaksa, not a single cent paid, because Sri Lanka is a dualism country, not a monist country. So therefore Parliament has to pass it. So there are situations, not only USA, even sometimes finally what will happen, they can say, okay, you pay, but his rights are not violation. He has all the rights to do that thing in the country.
And what effect will it have when it's a civil lawsuit in, say, the USA?
Civil lawsuits in the USA, only you can be asked to pay a compensation if there is a claim coming, but still you can go and appeal. But
how do they begin to, the events that are supposed to happen in Sri Lanka?
Yep.
So how does a court in the United States, in California, how do they what is the system to investigate the veracity of the claim by the applicant?
Once you file the claim, the other side lawyers are objecting whether the court having jurisdiction to hear the case. Preliminary objections you have to make. Still this situation has not arisen. So when the preliminary objection accepted by the judges, it is not proceeding. Let's see it was accepted. Then still there is an issue. This will be a very bad precedent. What is the bad precedent? One country legal system is there. You go and sue in that country, and if you are suing in another country like USA or UK or any other country, this will go against the basic principles of United Nations Human Rights Convention, 1966 Civil and Political Rights Convention, and also it is where one country try to dominate another country, then the whole system of United Nations sovereignty will collapse.
Sovereignty will collapse.
Definitely.
Now, in a civil case, do you think they can ask for extradition?
I don't think so, because I don't have any examples or any precedent for you to see. Even you can cite if USA had said any courts like that. But one case I know, Colombia district courts, several cases were filed, not for war crimes, asking for compensation. But all these cases were dropped by the judge. Why? We don't have any jurisdiction. That claim was there. You can follow the Columbia District Court judgment.
So, should the people, let's say, should the Defense Secretary be worried about this?
Now all these cases came why? The war ended in 2009 May.
Yeah.
But the cases are filed in 2019. Why the so long period drag?
But he couldn't possibly file the cases in up till
The issue is
2015.
a person is rising or expected as a presidential candidate, there can be several allegations are coming. If that was happened that time period, and also a reasonable person will look, Mr. Faraz, why the time was dragging. Okay, let's see 2019 or 2020 you can file cases, not only one. I saw several cases coming in UK also.
Yeah.
These former LTT cadres as well as the global Tamil diaspora, they are going to file the cases. But still, this is where final my argument, just wasting court times. That's my argument. You can sue here. If anything, you can sue here.
Is that for political gain?
Yes, it's a political game. It is where popularity of a person, they try to test it, and morally the person's, declining.
Has there been any instance of a civil lawsuit in Sri Lanka where the applicant has won and obtained compensation?
Yes, there are cases, but the problem is here, the applicant can appoint a person in Sri Lanka by an affidavit and file the case. So USA first looking why you have not pursued cases in Sri Lanka. Civil case, no need the person to be appear here. Faraz, Mr. Faraz, what they can do by affidavit, you can appoint a person and go ahead. But they don't want to show it that. So they say we are not believing Sri Lanka justice. We are not believing Sri Lanka court system. Therefore, we need an international tribunal or international court to look after all these things. But let's see. Forget about that. If a major general is going to contest for the general election or any other election, other cases may come up. Lot of cases may come up. So that is the trend. All these things are done by, a popularity of a person.
And how does the economy faring in Jamaica?
Jamaica economy, Sri Lanka economy, little bit, similar way. But I'll give one example. Jamaica, USA $1, Jamaica 126 Jamaican dollars you have to pay. So they are a little bit higher than us, and also their product rate is very, very important. Certain things are illegal here, there is legal. Lot of things you can use for what? To productivity of the country. So that way, if you can think, you can develop. The present JLP government is actually looking in that. After the by-election, they are doing more people welfare in that country. More people welfare in that country. The famous reggae music, reggae legends are there. So different way people are working. All are not working like that. But I'll give one example. In Jamaica, if you take the public bus, if you take from here one hold, even if you go 20 miles, 100 Jamaican dollars. Flat rate is very flat rate. Like taxis are also like that. No three-wheelers are there. Only taxis and public buses are there. So it is a very, very system. It's a very friendly system working. But here what will happen? If you get certain money, percentage go to the politicians' pockets, and thereafter the system where if you see many reports, it is not coming out.
There's reports that the per capita GDP in Jamaica is just over $5,000 US.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka is about 4,000. So just slightly
similar. That's why I say when you compare to US dollars.
Yes.
But sometimes back Jamaica was very high. That is where $1 US, 4 Jamaican dollars. That is in 1970, 1978. Okay. Now you know what is happening in most of the developing countries, underdeveloping countries. They want to keep that system. Then only IMF, World Bank and others are surviving. So that system, people must understand in Sri Lanka as well as in other developing countries.
Wonderful. Professor Prathiba Mahanameheva, thank you very much for being on Newsline Prime. We hope that before you go back to your paradise island, the island where Blue Lagoon was filmed, we hope that you will take time out and appear on one of our other programs.
Definitely.
Perhaps on Face the Nation.
Yeah.
And so thank you very much.
Thanks.
I
want to make a one appeal.
Please.
Mr. Faraz, as an investigative journalist, please come to Caribbean, Jamaica, and you can identify the differences of journalism. So I warmly welcome you to come.
Thank you very much. It's probably the best suggestion for a very long time indeed. Professor Prathiba Mahanameheva, thank you very much. And that's the way it was on Newsline Prime. Have a wonderful Easter weekend. A happy Easter to everybody. And take care. Have again, an absolutely super duper wonderful weekend. And come back to work on Monday. Fresh as a daisy. Take care. Have a great evening. And of course, God bless.
News First, Newsline Prime with Faraz Shaukat Ali.